akola ketewa no sorry a your friend will say Adom Otchere Adom or something no or kika kwasi asem entrepreneurs next time may take it time make sure mu asia say yes private capital or capitalism socialism no asia sa akola ketewa no sorry a your friend will say Adom Otchere Adom or something no or kika kwasi asem entrepreneurs next time may take it time make sure mu asia say yes private capital or capitalism socialism no asia sa akola ketewa no sorry a your friend will say Adom Otchere Adom or something no or kika kwasi asem entrepreneurs next time may take it time make sure mu asia say yes private capital or capitalism socialism no asia.
Welcome to the show. Charlie, Afede. Akola kitwa no sorry. No kikan kwasiase. Hallelujah be to the resurrected Lord. Good evening and welcome to the show. Yesu dina ya boswi. Awan wedina ya boswi Yebese obun samjuma ni nara Yenya bosu jidie mu Centre ni bedi echio Yesu dina ya boswi Yesu dina ya boswi Jehovah dina ya boswi Yebese obun samjuma ni nara Yenya bosu jidie mu Centre ni bedi echio Yesu dina ya boswi. Amen. Okay, now we can start. Good evening. Welcome to the show. Tonight we have a lot to say and a lot to talk about. We'll begin, however, with the tape so that we can put the story in context. Earlier today, Togbe Afede, the overlord of Asogli, the Agbo Mafia, granted an interview to Multimedia's Joy FM and Joy TV. In a 10-minute interview, Togbe Afede explained almost everything that was said in the statement, which had my name on it, to correct the impression of what I was reported to have done on Tuesday night. Togbe Afede spoke extensively, and would like you to hear the soundbite, and then we can put the matter in context. There will be no fight tonight. It's all respect for traditional authority, respect for democracy, and respect for freedom of expression. Here is Togbe Afede speaking to Joy FM. Tonight we will deal with everything, from wedding cards to school fees to this to that and everything. Here is Togbe Afede speaking.
He just simply felt he did not deserve to take the ex gratia after he had received his salaries. There is more reaction to what he's been telling us exclusively tonight. But first, listen to the man himself.
You know, I was filing my tax returns towards the end of last year, and I received tax receipts from the GRA that showed that some deductions were effected from monies paid to me in July that I wasn't aware of. So I decided, wow, let me find out. Of course, I was having my own financial because at the time, for responsibilities, so I thought, wow, this is great news, I've got some money in. But I decided to find out where the money was coming from. So I first went to my bankers to confirm the money was there. But it was described generally as salary ex gratia, and I didn't know what that meant. So I decided to probe and understand where it was coming from. So I found that a chunk of that money was in respect of ex gratia, okay, that was due me, and that was 365,000 Ghana cedis plus. Of course, my joy turned sadness because I knew there was no way I wanted to spend that kind of money. I was very surprised about the sheer quantum of money that I was going to be paid. And I thought that for 4 years' work, that in all honesty was part-time work. I did not think that it merited this amount of extra reward after we have enjoyed monthly, salaries. Of course, the other privileges, whether I enjoyed them or not, is neither here nor there, but they're supposed to be there. Some free medical care for those who wanted it, and which I didn't enjoy. But I thought the salaries were more than enough. So I decided right and then that there's no way I could spend that money. That money must go back to government. You see, there may be good reason to pay ex gratia, awards or service awards to certain categories of government workers, public workers. For example, the parliamentarians may have to leave whatever they were doing to serve the nation for a period. Okay? So if they will no more return to parliament, there may be the need to give some benefits. How much should be given is subject to a bit of analysis, okay, that will respect also the situation in our country and the plight of the average Ghanaian. Some people must not be made to look like a different class of people. But coming to my particular case, the Council of State's work is part-time work by mostly retired citizens. But Council of State work should not take you away from what you already have been doing. And therefore, it's not a case that you need to be compensated at the end of it or when you are being thrown out of job. You see, so I do not think that the work that I did merited it. But let me assure you, I was one of the most active participants in the Council of State. And I was chairman of the Economy and Special Development Initiatives Committee, which never met without me. So I was one of the most active participants in our general meetings, and I led the team on the economy and special development initiatives. But nonetheless, I cannot deny the fact that it was part-time work, it wasn't full-time work, and I think that after 4 years, I deserve a colossal 365,000 Ghana cedis. That's a big amount of money.
You talk about how active you were in the Council of State. Are you surprised in the midst of all the applause, the lone voice criticizing you, saying that you only participated in 16% of the meetings? Are you surprised?
Well, I was shocked that, I was very shocked that Mr. Parliamentary of all people who knew me very, very well, was a frequent visitor to my office many years ago, knew how I work, okay, and always commended the quality of my work. I recall when I was sharing about Ghana in 2003 about the way they were, determining, interest rates, the effects of which we are still seeing today. He got very interested and tried to host Ghana and I in a national TV debate. Of course, the 2 invitations, Ghana declined. So I did it alone. So he knew me very well. Surprising that he, of all people, and I'm not going into details, would be the one to criticize me. But why am I not surprised? Because he had done something similar before. When I was fighting Ejepa, he granted an interview to the Minister of Finance and sought to denigrate me even in that interview by saying that I was an employee of Kenneth Furiata. When I drew his attention, he apologized. That no, he knew I was a founder of the bank. He said, then why do you present it as if I was an employee of Kenneth Furiata? Again, when we were having a debate about, the referendum that had to be aborted, he again tried to criticize me. It's surprised that he of all people, when I say he of all people, he will be surprised. He will know why I'm saying I didn't expect that from he of all people. But unfortunately, some people live by their, focus on their stomachs in the kind of things that they do. So, given my recent experience, I would say I'm not too surprised. My surprise would come from, or indeed came from the misrepresentation. You can criticize me. You can criticize my opinions, but don't tell lies. You understand? Don't say, for instance, that Togbe presented himself as coming from Ho to the Council of State and enjoyed transport allowances when he knew it's not true. He knew that by my character, I could never do something like that. I am a resident of Accra. I'm not one of those who pretend not to live in Accra and enjoy government hotel facilities when they are working or enjoy transportation allowances. I'm not that type. He knows. So that part hurts me. And also the suggestion that I was most of the time absent from Council of State meetings.
You attended only 16% of the meetings.
Also hurt me because it's not true. And he knows that it's not true. So that level of dishonesty hurts me. That level of wickedness, that I took an exception to. You can criticize me, you can say you didn't see why I should return the money, but don't back your arguments with falsehood. That part I take a strong exception to. I know that, our country, the truth is no more accepted. The people we are talking to. So with all the debates and all the confusion, sometimes I have to know what the truth is because of characters like this, who will sit as black and still say it's white. So whatever I do, I know people criticize. Even this donation I made today, people criticize. But if I want to worry about criticisms, then I can't do anything. So I'll continue doing myself, say what I have to say, do what I have to do for the cause of the country's progress and development.
Togbe, finally, in that letter that you released, you stated that as a general principle, you actually abhor outrageous, payments, especially for persons who, out of their own volition, decide to serve their country. What do you make of calls for the scrapping of the Council of State?
Council of State is a nice proposition that has been messed up by the composition. You understand? If it can be made to meet the expectations of the framers of our Constitution, it can be a good addition to, the various organs and institutions of states that are there to further the cause of our democracy and our development. Okay, but the composition of the council, the number of members that are appointed by the president leaves a lot to be desired. You want a council that is strong, that is independent in thought and in action, and that can give right advice to those who need that advice, as opposed to merely endorsing what comes before them. So it's a great concept, it must be made to meet the expectations of the framers of law, of the Constitution, vis-a-vis again, fighting the cause of our democracy, fighting the cause of our development, with the context of the various principles on which our Constitution is built: fairness, equal access to opportunity, and etc. So basically, it's a good concept, but it needs to be handled properly.
Okay, so at 26 minutes to the top of the hour, 10 o'clock, I think that we are now in full flight and we can start the conversation. So that was Togbe Afede speaking to Joy FM earlier today, and he made a few points. He talked about the fact that he was a regular attendance to the meetings. He said he was unhappy with the suggestion that he had been, that I had said that he took transport allowance as though he was coming from Ho, and that he was one of the hardworking members, and he did attend the meetings contrary to the information I had put out, that he had attended 16% of the meetings. He also said he led a committee, which is correct, and that the committee met and never met without him. Okay, he also said something in the end, which is what excites me the most. He makes a suggestion about the future of the Council of State, and because I am a constitutional reformer, that's important for us. He said that in future, if we want to keep the Council of State, the president should not appoint the numbers of people that the president appoints on the Council of State. I believe the president appoints about 12 people, every president does. And Togbe's suggestion in terms of reviewing that is that the president should not be appointing, the council should be independent. So perhaps we should have all elected members, or we should have members representing interest groups. That's a great suggestion, isn't it? And that's towards constitutional reform. Now, though, I'd like to go back to something he said about me and stomach journalism and all of that, so we can respond to that. Typically, I see that on social media. I see that on in Twitter and all of that. I don't actually respond. But because it's coming from an important person, like the distinguished Togbe Afede, I need to respond. Before then, though, let's hear it again, and we'll come back into the studio. We have a lot to talk about tonight. This is what he said.
Well, I was shocked that, I was very shocked that Mr. Padomochi, of all people who knew me very, very well, was a frequent visitor to my office many years ago, knew how I work, okay, and always commended the quality of my work. I recall when I was sharing about Ghana in 2003 about the way they were, determining, interest rates, the effects of which we are still seeing today. He got very interested and tried to host Ghana and I in a national TV debate. Of course, the two invitations, Ghana declined. So I did it alone. So he knew me very well. Surprising that he, of all people, and I'm not going into details, would be the one to criticize me. But why am I not surprised? Because he had done something similar before. When I was fighting Ejepa, he granted an interview to the Minister of Finance and sought to denigrate me even in that interview by saying that I was an employee of Kenneth Furiata. When I drew his attention, he apologized. That no, he knew I was a founder of Data Bank. I said, then why do you present it as if I was an employee of Kenneth Furiata? Again, when we were having a debate about, the referendum that had to be aborted, he again tried to criticize me. It's surprised that he, of all people, when I say he of all people, you'll be surprised. You'll know why I'm saying I didn't expect that from he of all people. But unfortunately, some people live by their, focus on their stomachs in the kind of things that they do. So, given my recent experience, I would say I'm not too surprised. My surprise would come from, or indeed came from the misrepresentation.
All right, so that's Togbe Afede, and everything he said there, almost everything he said is correct. In terms of the conversation we had about Ejapa tonight, I'll show it to you on the screen. I have, without his permission, edited, cut out. Did I edit? I've extracted the text conversation between him and I since 2019. I'll show it to you on the touch screen, what he said, what I said about Ejapa. And the last one he said, even about the Tuesday presentation. His last text message to me was on Wednesday, the day after Tuesday, and I'll show you all of that. So you see the kind of relationship we have. It's a great relationship. And he talked about the Bank of Ghana inflation issue, and out of those interviews that he granted, and it's true, I thoroughly admired his work. And you will see it in the text message when I talk about him. And text message I sent to him. And it was out of those interviews that the Honorable J.H. Mensah, I said it here on Tuesday, became interested in him, that he's a great brain, and he ended up on the board of the Bank of Ghana, which was good for the country, isn't it? So yes, I have a relationship with him. We'll talk about that. Now just let me deal with the stomach journalist. What does it mean? If you support Nana Akufo-Addo, you're a stomach journalist. If you support John Mahama, you're a journalist of conscience. What does it mean? I don't understand it. I mean, I'm going to end to talk about conviction. So I made the point on Tuesday that it must have been around 11th or 10th January 2009. I was on television, and I said that Ghanaians had voted wrongly for Professor Mills. That was when Akufo-Addo had lost the election. I had indicated my support for him when he had lost the election. On the day after the election results were released, I believe it was The day after the inauguration, I went to Nana Ado's house. That's how we used to call him. Now, of course, His Excellency the President. And I have witnesses because Kwabena Japan came to meet me there. The Kwabena Japan, the one you know, he came to meet me there. Early in the morning, I went to him. We used to call him C1, candidate number 1. And I didn't have anything to say. I just went to see him. And he woke up early. I think he was glancing through the newspapers. I was right there. And we were just having a chat. And then Kwabena Japan came, and the 2 important people, so I had to excuse them. They had their conversation, and then Kwabena left. At that time, he had lost the election. The country had moved on to Professor Mills, but Nana Ado himself had attended the inauguration, you see. And then he had come home in the morning, I was there. And I believe it must have been the same night that I said on television that Ghanaians had voted wrongly. That was 2009. What is stomach journalism about that? And then, when I met Professor Mills a year later in 2010, 2 other people were in this meeting. The first thing he said is that, Paul, I'm going to prove to you that Ghanaians didn't vote wrongly, because when I said that, it went around, people heard it. So everyone has known my support for Akufo-Addo for a long time, and the reasons why I supported him is because I observed him in Parliament. I thought that among his generation, he was going to be a great leader. I still stand by that position. Now, in 2012, he lost elections again. And there again, I supported him. Everyone knew. And when John Mahama was president, the few occasions that I found myself in his company, people and time they found their face. And I knew they were doing that because of me. They were wondering what I was doing there. Because all of them knew that I was an Akufo-Addo person. So in 2016, Akufo-Addo won elections. In fact, when John Mahama was president, I lobbied to be on the NCA board. It hit a wall. It was going to hit a wall, even if the president wanted it. His people didn't want it because they said there's an Akufo-Addo person. So that's the history. In 2017, when Akufo-Addo won the elections, I was delighted, of course. I went to him, and at that time, people were lobbying. And so the question, when you appear before him at that time, sometime around December 21, 22, the question was, what area do you want? People were sending their CVs. I went in and I said, I want to be on the NCA board. And he said, what are you going to do on the NCA board? I had never thought about that. I didn't think he was going to ask me. I thought he was going to say, yeah, it's okay, you have it. He said, and I had not thought about it, so I was a bit confused. So I now had to think about it. Eventually, back and forth, I got on the NCA board. So when you say stomach journalist, what does it mean? I am acting on the conviction that I believe that Nana Akufo-Addo is a great president among his generation for Ghana. You can think differently, no problem about that. You can think that the best person is Pio Gabra, is John Mahama, is Dr. Dufo. Fair enough. But allow me to think that Akufo-Addo is the best. And my thinking of Akufo-Addo as the best is not new. It dates back to the period when he was losing elections. So those young people who don't know the history and they think I just jumped on some Akufo-Addo bandwagon because he's in power, I've supported Nana Addo forever. Those people who were with me in Commonwealth Hall, whom I begged that let's go to Sunyani as far back as 1998 to support Nana Addo. I mean, when I was running elections in Legon, those who didn't vote for me, some of them thought that I am going to be an appendix of Akufo-Addo, the politician in parliament. So my relationship or my support for Akufo-Addo dates way back to opposition days. So when you say stomach journalist, you're just being illogical. You don't understand it. You don't know what you are talking about. And these days, if you support Akufo-Addo, you're a stomach journalist. If you support John Mahama, you are not stomach journalist. What kind of illogicality is that? What kind of illogicality is that? That, you know, they say, and I think that these days he's talking about stomach. Stomach, really? When the man lost the election in 2009, I was on a primetime TV program and I said that he should have won. When he lost in 2012, I supported him. He won in 2017. I support him. I lobby for a position, and you are a stomach journalist? You mean if John Mahama wins elections next time, you won't find journalists in there? Alassane Suhini was working for Radio Gold. He became a member of parliament. He supports John Mahama. There's no problem with that. When he was working for Radio Gold, he was an NDC voice. There's no problem with that. Is that stomach journalism? But anyway, I had to say this because it's come from an important person. Otherwise, you know that I won't say it. Now it's time for the touch screen. And I'm going to continue on the touch screen to show you the relationship I was talking about. And then we will look at what we got from the Council of State in terms of attendance so that we can deal with it tonight. I have to say also that there's been some concerns on Twitter that I don't respect traditional authority. That's not true. I am not like my senior Kwesi Pratt, who said that Ghana is a republic and there's no king anywhere in reference to the obvious king. Kwesi Pratt said that. He's not said it once. He said it so many times. He should deny it today. He said it so many times that Ghana is a republic. There's no king. I don't believe in that. I believe Ghana is a republic, but I believe that there are kings, there are chieftains. I respect traditional authority. I don't take anything away from traditional authority. I respect it. So those who say that, then why are you attacking Togbe because you don't respect traditional authority? I'm not attacking Togbe. I was raising a fundamental question about the provisions of the Constitution, the way in which I think we should go forward from now. Instead of hero-worshipping individuals, let us change the superstructure. Have a superstructure that works. That's the point I was making. I was not attacking Togbe. And you'll see it when I show you my text message with him. Let's go out to the touch screen now. Okay, so we're here, isn't it? And this one on the touch screen now. Okay, are we good? Tornado, what do you want me to do? Okay, all right. Yes, so we are good. 10 minutes to the top of the hour, 10 o'clock. Good evening. Welcome again to Good Evening Ghana. Let's look at this. So I was trending on Twitter. I was quick, put that one down. Put the Twitter up. I was trending on Twitter for 2 days. My guy sent it to me and said, Chief, we're trending. And people were fighting each other, and some say this and some say that. I'm sure from tomorrow, maybe those who have understood will not say stomach journalists. They might say cash out something, or everything they want to say, they can say. But you will watch the program, wouldn't you? And thank you very much for making the program great. It is great, isn't it? Everyone is watching. People who are, please don't drive anyhow to get home quickly to watch. Oh, take your time. You can watch it on your phone. If you are driving, you can't watch the phone. Sorry. If somebody is there, don't rush. People rush home to watch it. And we are delighted that we have audience who are watching and who are giving us feedback. That's fantastic, isn't it? Okay, so get out of the Twitter now. No, let's go back to give me my Twitter. This evening, I had to painfully put this on Twitter. It was very difficult because we spent a lot of the morning trying to obtain the records to back our claims. And thankfully we did. They are here. All the records are here. We obtained the records to back our claims on the attendance of Council of State meetings from 2017 to 2021. We obtained those records. So after we had obtained the entire records, we looked at it. I was completely pained, but I had to put this on Twitter. I said, it's very difficult when one has to use hardcore evidence to contradict the testimony of a good man, a great mind, and an amazing leader. Duty calls and credibility beckons. See you tonight on Good Evening Ghana. Viva democracy, viva Che Guevara, revolution unabated. And there's a reason why I put Che Guevara there. I'm sure Togbe and I understand. So viva Che Guevara, revolution unabated. Now I'm going to go to the text message that Togbe and I have shared over, I believe, a year and a half, so that you can understand some of the things he said in the interview about the Japa is here, and you will see it. So let's do that. Okay, so this is from him, and that he's Togbe, so forgive me for writing his name this way, but this is how I knew him. And this is how a lot of people who know him in the old times, he's kept this number for a long time. This is the way I saved his number. He's Togbe Afede now, but this is how I saved his number. And so this is 26 January 2019. So he sent me this video, which is Good Evening Ghana official, Togbe Afede, President of the National House of Chiefs, and then he wrote, listen to yourself again and convince yourself that you meant to do an honest presentation. And then he sent me the text messages on it. So I continue. I said, good morning, Togbe. I salute, sir. Points made. One, that NDC tried to do the... Okay, he reproduces the beautiful. Okay, so let's take it from here. Good morning, Togbe. I salute, sir. Points made, I think I wanted to write. One, that NDC tried to do the same securitization, that's the Japa thing, under Mills with Dr. Dufour as finance minister. It was to be called the Ghana Gold Company. Fact checked, correct. Now, I sent that to the great Afede when he said to me that what I did was a dishonest presentation about Ejapa. Now, he had criticized Ejapa and had said that he shouldn't criticize Ejapa because he was part of the same situation when Dr. Dufour tried to do the same gold securitization. They just were going to call it Ghana Gold Company. So that's the first point, that the NDC tried to do the same thing under Dr. Dufour, and it was to be called the Ghana Gold Company. Point number two, that your good self, Togbe Afede, was part of the thoughts and consultations because you were part of the committee. Fact checked, correct. But you, Togbe Afede, say that you only attended meetings. Respectfully accepted. So this one, Togbe said that he was not part of the committee. He said he only attended meetings. He wasn't part of the committee. Fair enough. So I say that the fact check is correct, that there was a committee of which you were a member, but you said that you only attended a meeting. Respectfully accepted that you only attended the meetings and that you were not part of the committee. But viewers, you make your own decision. A committee is set up to set up Ghana Gold Company to do exactly the same thing that the Japa is doing. A committee is set up. Togbe Afede is not part of the committee, but he attends the meetings. Okay, understood. Let's move on. 3, that the Ghana Gold Company also wanted to use a special purpose vehicle. Fact check, correct. That's a matter of fact. The Ghana Gold Company also wanted to use a special purpose vehicle. The same special purpose vehicle that became a point of controversy in Parliament about why they are using a special purpose vehicle. The Ghana Gold Company under Dr. Dufour was going to use a special purpose vehicle. Let's move on. I continue. Number 3, I said, I repeat that. The Ghana Gold Company was also going to use a special purpose vehicle. Fact check, correct. Number 4, that you have complained about Ejapa setting up in a tax haven. Fact check, correct. Now that was the difference. The difference between the Ghana Gold Company and the Ejapa, which Togbe Afede talked about, was that they were setting up in a tax haven, and the Dr. Dufour one the documents did not indicate that there was a tax haven. That's correct. That's the difference between the two. So fact check is correct. Now number 5, that in describing your association with DataBank, we said you worked there. Fact check, wrong. You were actually a co-founder. We said that. That's the point he was making, that when he drew my attention to it, I apologize for it. This is a text I sent to him, 2019, that it was wrong, that you were actually a co-founder. Let me go on. Then I say, respectfully, Togbe, we have been doing this show for 20 years. No other show has held such profile for that long. And we won't be still leading after so long with the same host if we were doing a dishonest presentation. And I stand up by that today. We have been doing a show for 20 years, and each of the 20 years we have been leading. Today, we lead by a distance. It's not the one who comes second is far away. We lead by a distance, and it's because the hand of the Lord is in this one. Say hallelujah to that. The hand of the Lord is in this one. That is why for 20 years, year 1, year 2, 17, some people have done 3 years, 2 years. They should wait and do 17 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 20. One host still leading. We wouldn't have been leading if we were doing dishonest presentations. So I was very passionate about this last paragraph. I said, respectfully, Togbe, we wouldn't be doing this show. We have been doing this show for 20 years. No other show has held such profile for that long in the history of Kwame Nkrumah's Ghana. No show has held that profile for that long. Current affairs, none, zero. And we have done it as a private, we are not GBC, we don't use state resources, as a private sector company, 20 years. And you say that we have been doing dishonest presentations. If we were doing dishonest presentations, we wouldn't be here. Like today, we have been called liars, that he attended meetings. We will show it. Don't worry, we'll get there. Okay, so then we continue. I beg to respectfully differ on the view that the presentation was dishonest. I salute you, sir. That's how I ended with him. And then comes the next, he continues. He said, who were the members of the committee set up by the NDC? That's one, that question he asked me, I couldn't answer it. It's in the document. He was attending the meetings. I wasn't attending the meetings. How am I going to know who were the members of the committee? I obtained the document from the Ministry of Finance. It's a valid document that Ghana Gold Company was to be set up. And I said the meeting, in that document, you were a member of the committee. You were part of the thought processes and the consultations. And you were a member of the committee. He says he was not a member of the committee. He only attended the meetings. I understand. Then he's asking me who were the members of the, how will I know? I don't know. Okay. Did you just find out, he says, that I was a co-founder of DataBank? Then he goes on, this dishonesty is shocking coming from you. And tonight he repeated that. He repeated this coming from you thing. He repeated it. Okay. This dishonesty is shocking coming from you. I won't argue with you here, but I reserve the right to respond appropriately. So I thought he was talking about court or something like that. Well, I said, okay. So, and then I come back and I respond and I say that, oh no, Sir Togbe, I know that you are a founder of DataBank. I have always known that, sir. I just didn't say it well. That's how we ended. And that's the point he was making, that when he drew my attention to it, I apologized for it. Yeah, that's the apology I rendered. But I DataBank, if you wake me up at 2 a.m., DataBank was Ken Ofriata, Togbe Afede, and Kelly Gajepo. Everybody knows that. You can add an Abedi to other and you'll figure out. But the 3 original founders, Kelly Gajepo, Ken Ofriata, and Togbe Afede. Everybody knows that. So I know that. So that's why I said to him that, no, I really know that you're a founder of DataBank. And this evening, even though he knows of this apology, and he said about the apology today, he was quite unhappy that I had said that he's an employee of Ken Ofriata. Far from that, he wasn't. He was a co-founder. Okay, let's go on. Then comes 23rd April 2021. So we didn't talk until then. I said, Togbe, happy birthday to you, sir. You serve our nation and our community very well. You are a role model from Yale. Yale is a university in America. We thank God for your life. Amen. And then he says, thanks. And that was in 2019. Then Wednesday morning, I wake up to this one. Ooh, that's a big one. Togbe Afede. Wednesday morning, I say, hey, okay. Shameful, you continue to tell lies to earn a living. You have to provide evidence of my plenary and committee meeting attendance record, and especially your allegation that I registered as coming from Ho to council meetings and so received transport allowance accordingly. Then he sends me a video of Obri Boahin, who was in favor of Togbe Afede returning the money. But this was really frightening, you know. Yesterday, you can see that on the text. This is WhatsApp. Yesterday, he said, shameful, you continue to tell lies for a living. You have to provide evidence of my plenary and committee meetings. Oh, what's this? Put that thing back. So he says that we have to provide evidence of the plenary and committee meetings tonight. Tonight. We are ready, respectfully, to provide the evidence. Before then, though, let's take text messages and let's see what people are saying. And then after that, we will do the evidence game. But it's all done in great respect for the Agbabo Mafia, Togbe Afede, the overlord of Asogli. Okay, let's begin with you, Matilda, who is back on the show tonight.
Okay, from David Labby, good evening, folks. What is happening? Why is everyone here trying to kill one person just because he has criticized a fellow Ghanaian? Why? Togbe Afede is a Ghanaian, isn't he? Is he beyond criticizing? No. Even every individual in Ghana is not above the law, and for that matter, not beyond criticizing. How many people from the Volta side, including chiefs and highly profiled personalities, have not criticized or rained insult onto the president? What does the chief sought to achieve when he makes the decision to return the money? What did the chief seek to achieve when he made the decision to return the money? Sorry. There were so many ways he could have returned the money, but he chose to use that way. Only he knew why he did that. Personally, I will have problems with any individual who by any means will want to disrespect any authority in the country, including our own traditional authorities, for good or bad reasons. For me, if we are all going to be truthful and patriotic, the First and Second Lady of the Republic did more than what the chief has done. But you people decided to keep quiet. For them, they are not from Ghana and also not patriotic enough to be praised. He has all the constitutional rights to resign if he didn't want to serve on the board. And nobody will question that. You have been on the board, enjoyed the benefits, and now you want to sabotage the government, making him look unattractive to the people. We should stop these tribalistic posturing and let us all focus on building a nation, but not a country. We can't continue to be too polarized with politics all the time. I'm sure he's trying to say polarized. The problem we have as a country, for me, is when everyone is sounding too tribalistic. And how can we develop with such a cognitive behavioral therapy? If our chief and king wants to sound too patriotic for me, he should refund all the end-of-year benefits back to the country, like what the two First and Second Lady did. We need to begin to criticize constructively. You people seem to have problems with Paul, but what of Johnny from TV3, Captain Smart, and all the journalists who always insult the current president and its administration? Is it because they are not of his standard? Prosperity is awaiting each and everyone. Paul, I have followed you for a very long time, and I can tell you God is on your side. Continue to enlighten the generation like myself with the facts 100%. I'm waiting for the day you will invite me to your studio to discuss some important issue confronting us as young people. Good evening is the best. And also from Ibn Alasan, what has Paul done wrong? As a journalist, he has tried his best to unravel the hypocrisy of the chief. The chief's decision to return the money is bad faith. From the bottom of Togbe Afede's heart, if he will be honest to us and tell us the gospel truth why he returned the money, he will tell you he did that for political motivation. He just wants to brand this government as corrupt and insensitive. Just imagine, if Togbe Afede was denied this ex gratia, the brouhaha that it would have brought to the nation when ex-President Mahama was asked to leave the VIP house he wanted to take as part of his ex gratia, and the government denied him. What didn't the NDC and some sections of Ghanaians say about this current government? Is it today's ex gratia is being paid to the Council of State members? Is the chief also telling us that he wasn't aware that after his tenure as Council of State member, he'd be given ex gratia? What are we doing to ourselves as a nation? We want to turn everything to politics and win cheap political points out of it. We need to build our nation together, and some of these things won't help us to build a better Ghana. From Farouk Tema, Apostle Paul, the whole country is tuned in to receive your uplifting sermons. Brother, let the Spirit flow. Jeff Kasim, Abdallah Nassar, coordinator, Greater Accra Regional, is enjoying you, brutal.
From Kenny S. Opoku says that the same people who follows Energy Without Missing, a show of Kenny Jonas, Kevin Taylor, are here insulting Paul. They applaud and revere those people to fault. Those are the people taking Paul to cleaners because they hate facts and truth. Now your so-called revered king is throwing shade. Okay, this one says that Allah Paul Killer Nguto, they give them headache sleeves. This one says that, okay, from Isaac Camp, I have been missing your show these days due to time you start but I will endeavor to watch it later. I was applauding Togbe initially for showing what looks like a true patriotic spirit, but it appears his motivation was purely to smear the ever hard-working president and his government for no justifiable reason, and he must not be spared with facts. Paul Adom, Otchere, our prayers are with you.
From Citizen Kofi, he says, Paul, do you know what you are doing to yourself and the generation? Why can't you at least respect the traditional leader, for that matter, leaders in general? The respected Togbe has done this as a gesture and a service to Ghana. Stop twisting these issues and focus on the very important issues running our country down, and that's what Ghanaians need now. Back to back, Togbe has done nothing wrong, and he feels and thinks it's not right for him to spend monies that he has not adequately worked for, or better still, saying as Ghanaians, we have to look at our constitution again and rewrite it, as I know very well you are in support of the same period. Ike Della says, I don't know why people cannot make their points without insult. He has said his part. You oppose. That's fine. Insulting him does not change anything. He forces no one to take his opinion. Maxwell Songoja Gay says, as a journalist, what is expected of you is to invite the chief or go and interview Togbe himself. And if he says anything contradictory to your facts, then you can prove to him to establish your facts. With this, every listener will appreciate and applaud you than presenting your own views alone on the show.
Okay, there's opinion-based journalism. It was made by Rupert Murdoch. That's what rules the world, okay? So don't forget about that. Go and interview. And if you don't like the opinion, switch off your TV. 3.6 on social media. Thank you very much. Thank you. You, the guy you don't want, just stop watching, watch cartoons. No. By this time, there's a program on Joy. It's called PM Express or something. Please watch that one. It's fine. Or no, they don't do Point of View. They do PM Express. Watch that one. Don't watch us. It's up to you. We have 3.6 is enough. We don't want to add you. Okay. We have.
Okay. So these are response to what was posted on Twitter, and it says from Albert Forson, hardcore evidence. That is the standard. Keep up the good work, sir. Now, Mufasa says, King of Agenda. Paul, we love you, but kindly make it brief. There are some people, even if you cut your head for them, they will still refuse to see. Now, this is from Abdul. He says, I wonder how I can tap into your great and on-point analytical skills. Maybe a gem of your caliber, should consider setting up some classes for some of us to enroll, ready to learn. Now, returning to WhatsApp. Right, this is from Nera Life in Kaswa. He says, Paul indeed is the only journalist who can catch the attention of intellectuals in Ghana. If you fail to see stomach journalists in quote, don't tag Paul as one. We know the stomach journalist for sure. My greetings to Honorable Hawa Kumsin. Now, this is from Bolgatanga. Abduzati says, good works as usual. This case really needs in-depth analysis as you are doing. Honestly, I expected you would host Chairman Wontumi, but this case is getting out of it, not taking care of it rightly, but would plead to be more patient, as you earlier on said. Now, Seydou Fatawu says, over the bar to the people who think Adom Otchere is a stomach journalist, in quote, you're doing a great job for Mother Ghana. Keep it up, and God will surely crown you the best journalist coming 2023. Okay. From Nana Enin in New York City. Paul, you and your team are doing an excellent job. My little advice is, please ignore the hypocrisy in the system and focus on being factual. It is better to be a stomach journalist, in quotes, than a journalist with no purpose. Now, from Alidu in the University of Education in Winnipeg, he says, good evening, Paul. Another problem I have concerning the return of the ex-gratia by the respected chief is that he has painted the council members to look like they enjoy so much in the council. So he should come out and apologize to them. Manuel Sankofin Dansman says, what a nice way to open the show today. The song was on point. Paul never disappoints.
Okay, I'll take the song again and then we can. Yesu dina ya bosui, awanwe dina ya bosui, yebese obunsam juma ninara. Yenya bosu jidie mu senchre ni bedi echio. Yesu dina ya bosui. Yesu dina ya bosui, Jehovah dina ya bosui. Yebese obunsam juma ninara. Yenya bosu jidie mu senchre ni bedi echio. This is a song that was sung by Apostle Yentumi and Apostle Enim of the old order. Yeah, and it worked. Okay. So now they say I should take a break. I guess there's somebody who will speak to me. I don't know. They say, take a break, take a break. I'm going to take a break. This evening, sometime around 7 o'clock, my chairman called me. And you know, my chairman, he called and said, hey, I support now. And then I did Ube anything. And I said, oh, chairman, Boko. He said, Enkono Boko, unse papa no, or your penny, or your hini. In the Council of States, no, be information be out. I said, chairman, information be out. But who showed, yeah, you're careful. Why? I said, chairman, no problem. He said, yeah, Meshe, good luck. Why? I said, you. So you two wish me good luck. After the break, we'll give you the evidence of the attendance of the meetings. Togbe Afede himself asked me to provide evidence of it. We'll provide evidence of it. We wrote a letter to the Council of State invoking the Freedom of Information Act. The Council of State responded to the letter and they gave us the information. And then we'll show you how the information works to indicate who attended which meetings and didn't. Thankfully, it confirms our point that the legendary chief was not able to. That's what we will say. We won't say he did not. He was unable to attend a sizable batch of the meetings. We'll talk to you about that after the break. Don't go anywhere. So now I know why they wanted me to take a break. I've dealt with it. The phone calls were coming in, so I've taken the break. All right. I've just been reminded that NDC Web put up a photograph. Togbe Afede, you borrowed Togbe Afede's car, he paid your school fees. I'll deal with that. Don't worry, I'll deal with it. But now let's deal with the most important issues. Okay, so when I got Togbe's text message that you tell lies for a living, I looked on social media and I decided, okay, let's deal with it. Okay, so I wrote this letter to the Council of State. Yeah, it's here, 8th June. Request for the attendance of members. Is it written here? Okay, yes. So this is the letter. Request for the attendance of members of the Council of State. Pursuant to Section 1 and 18 of the Right to Information Act 2019, Act 989 of Parliament, I write to your office to request a copy of the attendance of meetings of the Council of State from 2017 to 2022 for the purpose of ascertaining the frequency with which a member attended the council meetings. That's what we are in a democracy. Akufo-Addo has passed the Right to Information Act. So we don't quarrel over I attended, I didn't attend, you didn't attend, I didn't attend. We go for the information, okay? So that's what we did. And we were looking for the attendance of a member. And we said, I hope this request shall be granted with expediency. Yours faithfully, I signed it. Okay, so the next day, today, we received this from the Council of State. It's signed by Stephen Blade, Director of Finance and Administration, for the Secretary to the Council. You can see request for attendance to the meeting, and it reads as follows. Your letter of June 8, 2022, in respect of the above subject refers. Please find herewith attached details of members of the Council's attendance to the various meetings of the Council for the period February 2017 to December 2020 as requested. Kindly acknowledge receipts. That is from Stephen Blake. Okay, so before I move to the next slide, this is the attendance. This is the document of the attendance. So the sheet I'm holding here, and as I said, because we are dealing with an important person, we will limit the extent to which we share the evidence, but we have it. If we are called in any forum, we will show it. We have it. We definitely do have it. But we will limit the extent to which we share it. Okay. So this is one page. And this, so we don't even have this on touch screen. What I'm holding, we just have a little bit. I'll show you. So this page is one meeting. There are 242 of this. And each meeting, everyone signs. They sign you. I'll show you that, by the way. Everyone signs. And so you can tell how many times meetings were attended. The Honorable was unable to attend the meetings. Just to cut it short, I have to restate for the record that he attended 16% of the meetings. He was unable to attend 80%. This is the factual record from the Council of State. So let's get that straight. I'm not in this job for whatever people say. I've been doing this for 20 years. I'm not going to stand here and just talk about something from my head. I've been doing it for 20 years. And I've been leading. It's not that I didn't start journalism with Good Evening Ghana. I've been leading for 20 years, as I said, because the hand of the Lord is here. So when I come and say something and people say it's not true, and I don't even understand it. Okay, so now let's go to the committee meetings. In the interview granted Joy FM, the legendary Togbe Afede said that he worked very hard at the committee level. That I'm going to show you in terms of the committee meetings, what happened. Okay, so let's move beyond that. Now, this is the committee meetings. This one I can show you. This is the committee meetings obtained from the Council of State. So there are 3 committees. So the first line here is the plenary. That is the meetings that were held. The plenary that they hold a number of meetings every year. Okay. The number 2 here is the Legal, Constitutional Affairs and Petitions Committee. That's one committee of the Council of State. The next committee is the Appointment and House Affairs Committee. The third one, which the legendary Togbe Afede chaired, which he talked about in the interview and said that no meeting was done without him. It's correct, no meeting was done without him. Is the Economy and Sustainable Development Initiative Committee. This is the one that Togbe Afede chaired. The ESDIC, that's ESDIC, Economy and Sustainable Development. Okay, so let's look at the table. This is official record of the Council of State committee meetings, not yet the plenary, committee meetings. Okay, so in 2017, the legal committee held 8 meetings. The appointment committee had 12 meetings. Togbe's committee held 4 meetings. Okay, and it goes on like that. As I said, because he's a very important person, we won't say a lot. So that's for 2017. Now let's come to the total. So in total, in the period under review, the first committee, legal, held 33 meetings. Appointment committee held 52 meetings. Togbe's committee held an abysmal 11 meetings. That's the fact, that's the record. That's the fact. So what the question? Why did his committee hold far less meetings than the rest? Let's look at the percentage. What is 11 of 52? And then we'll see the percentage of the meeting. And a meeting couldn't be called without him because he's chairman. This is the record. This is the record. What have we said wrong? This is the truth. It's the record. It's the truth. We're not just talking from our head. We have used the RTI bill that Akufo-Addo passed, that we all use. Suleiman Brahma uses, I use it. This is the first time I've used it anyway. But I'm happy to use it again. And this is it. 11. That's the number of meetings. The other committee, the ad hoc committees, held 32 meetings. Now, you have to look at ad hoc. You understand what ad hoc means. Ad hoc is not, in Parliament, they call it select committee and ad hoc committee, okay? Now, ad hoc committees are just put together for issues that occur, they just put it together. Ad hoc committees held 32 meetings. The regular committee of economy and sustainable development held 11 meetings. Let's look at the interesting year of 2020, the COVID year, where COVID had occurred and everything was about finance and economics and we were concerned about that. In the year 2020, Togbe's committee, in the entire year of 12 months, held one meeting, one single, in a crucial year of 2020, where the committee needed to listen to the finance gurus like Togbe himself and advise, be able to call the Minister of Finance and say, look, our committee led by Togbe is saying that you are managing the COVID wrongly. Our committee led by Togbe is saying that you shouldn't do this, you should do that, you should do that, because Togbe has the competence to be a finance minister. So the nation should feel blessed that Togbe was at the helm of affairs at the Council of State's Committee of Finance. And so we have sort of two finance ministers, Ken Ofori-Atta on one hand, both of them from Yale, Togbe on the other hand. And if Togbe had held several meetings and had made an input into the council's plenary, they could have invited the finance minister. They could have subpoenaed the finance minister and said, what is going on? In that crucial year, Togbe's committee held one meeting, abysmal one. That's the truth. We didn't create it. We didn't hold the meeting. We didn't ask them not to hold the meeting. This is the matter of record. One meeting is what they held, single one in the year 2020, altogether 11 in the entire period. The entire period, they held 11 meetings. Other committees held these meetings. This is the truth. This is from the Council of State. Any journalist can use the same method we use, right, to the Council of States. They will reply. They will give you the information. You are Joy FM, you are CTFM. You go to the Council of State. That's what Akufo-Addo has done for us. I will repeat it. Akufo-Addo has done it for us. And I say that because the RTI bill, it was lying in Parliament from John Mahama, Mills, it was there. Nobody passed it. Akufo-Addo passed it. Every day I'm talking. Akufo-Addo passed that bill. That's why today we can do what we do. It was Akufo-Addo. Congratulations to him. God bless him. Yeah, God bless him again. Because he passed the RTI bill that John Mahama did not pass. That Professor Mills could not pass. Akufo-Addo passed the bill. And that's how today we have this information to settle the matter. Otherwise, how am I going to Council of State and say, give me your attendance book? They won't give you. They should not give me. They are a very serious state institution. But once you invoke the RTI, they are obliged to do so. That's what the law says. And that's how we got this. So one meeting in 2020, single one. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. One meeting. I didn't say it. I respect Togbe Afede. I respect him. Maybe he didn't have time. He's a busy man. I'm sure he didn't have time. He could not. One meeting. That's what he attended. Okay. I'm done with the thing. I'll not say more. So this is the document that I have. Okay. This document is what I've put. Only one page. I'm not going to go through all of it. But I'm telling you, if anybody wants, we have 242. All the meetings of this, it shows who attended. So this is how it is. So you see, this is an example of a meeting that the Honorable Togbe Afede could not attend. So these are the council members, names are signed. This man also didn't attend. Wusun Sia, IGP retired, he didn't attend this meeting. And then Togbe Afede, he did not attend this meeting. This is only one meeting, by the way, but I'm saying that the truth is that I have the document in my hand. Togbe Afede attended only 16% of the meetings. I'm not saying there's any problem with it or that there's not a problem with it. I'm just telling you the fact because we have been called out as liars. We have been called out as saying something untrue on Tuesday. We have been called out. And in the interview, the reporter asked him, by the way, that's a reporter I kind of like, Maxwell Agbaba is a good guy. The reporter asked him that. The lone voice, and that's how they put it, Joy FM and their things. The lone voice is saying that, I don't know why the reporter didn't mention the name of the lone voice, because my relationship with Togbe was going to mention my name, which is okay, which is fine. I like that. So the lone voice 16%, Togbe said it's not true. But it is true. I'm sorry to say. I'm really sorry to say. It is true. I beg to differ. I beg. It is true. 16%. We have the record, the evidence. Any other journalist can get it. All of us can get it. It is true. He did not attend. He was unable to attend the meeting. So this is it. So this is an evidence of just one meeting. This is just one. But this is what we have. Okay. Later tonight, we'll be talking about other things. We'll be talking about article. Okay, so I don't know whether I want, if you want to talk about the money. I'm not so sure. So back to the money issue. Togbe returned the money. The point we made, and in the interview, he talked about privileges and things like that. One of the other privileges was that council members, government facilitated for council members to get loans to buy cars, which Togbe took advantage of. It is true that he has paid the loan. Almost every council member has paid the loan. How were they able to pay? They were paid from their allowances. So what's the fact of the loan story? Government facilitated, as government does for members of parliament, as government does for other institutions, government facilitated for council of state members to obtain loans to buy cars. Now, I'm making another point. Government then wrote off part of the loan as a matter of record. And when I say this now, don't joke with me. If you do, I'll bring it. But I just don't want to show it. We are dealing with a very important person. So government then wrote off part of the loan. I'm saying to you tonight that the amount of money that government wrote off the loan is bigger than the 365. It is. If you change it at today's rate, it's even way bigger. Not just that. Government said to Council of State members who want to take advantage of the facility that you can import the car, and when it comes to the port, you will get a waiver. You and I, do we get waiver from the port? We don't get waiver. I don't get waiver. You don't get waiver. If you bring a car, you have to pay for it. Council of State members get waiver. I am not against it. Council of State members deserve waiver. If we think they don't deserve waiver, amend the Constitution. End of story. Togbe Afede took advantage of the waiver from the records at the Council of State. He did. So the cost of the waiver plus the money that government wrote off is bigger than 365. Perhaps, just perhaps, I may agree with Togbe Afede because in his letter, he sort of indicated that he had already received too much. So he didn't want this one. In the interview, he said the privileges are neither here nor there. Please, I beg to differ. They are here or there because they are the taxpayers' money. Those of you who shout on the high horse about taxpayers' money, this is taxpayers' money. Those of you who jump around to come and congratulate, listen to the story. This is taxpayers' money. So if you say there's neither here nor there, what are you talking about? It is taxpayers' money. How is it neither here nor there? So you have to go through the privileges. Privileges were that the government facilitated for us to obtain this. Government did it for us to obtain that. If he says that in view of all of these things, and given that for me it was an absolute part-time job, and that my schedule did not even allow me to attend so many meetings, I did not think that I deserve ex gratia. In the interview, he alluded to the fact that members of parliament can take ex gratia. So maybe, to agree with him, the point he's making is that I had taken too much already. In fact, he made that point in his statement, that he had received salaries. The other day, yesterday, Dr. Bafo Ajimandua said that Council of State members ought not to receive salaries. Today, people are calling for the scrapping of the Council of State. That's the conversation we are engendering. Let us have that conversation. But let's deal with the truth and the facts. And let's stop this, etc. But let's deal with the truth and the facts. So he took advantage of all the perquisites that were available to Council of State members. And I'm saying it again, Togbe Afede, as he himself said in the interview, took advantage of all the perquisites available to Council of State members. If for some reason he thinks that he doesn't deserve the extra money of the ex gratia because of XYZ or because he held only one meeting when others were holding a lot more meetings, that's fair, that's fine. But it should not be presented as if he is a great saint and he's done something phenomenal and all of us should what's the word? Emulate. That all of us should emulate it. No, that's not how we build a country. We are missing the point. That's the point I was making. We are missing the point if we are building a country like that. Because if you get into the real facts, if you get into the details, you will see that it's not as it looks. If you get into the details, it's not as it looks. So yes, and he said in the interview that He saw the money and didn't know where it was coming from. Again, that also meant that his lawyers had not properly advised him on Article 71 and its relationship with the Council of State. Because if you become a Council of State member, you come on Article 71, you will receive salaries, you will receive emoluments, you will also receive ex gratia. Now, we understand that some lawyers have different opinions about the ex gratia, etc. We'll show that again today. Once we are done with it, we'll come to the position of Article 71. What does it mean? And then we'll explain it. Another thing we'll do today is that we have come back in love with our friend Kwame Ahoy. Professor Kwame Ahoy has edited a book with Nana Todazi. It's a book entitled D.F. Annan. It's a book about a biography of Justice D.F. Annan. And in that book, Kwame Ahoy tells us the historicity of the 1992 Constitution. I would like to show you what Kwame Ahoy said so that you can better understand when we say today that the Constitution needs amendment. I've made the point all the time to you that the Constitution was made for a military junta called J.J. Rawlings and Captain Kojo Chikata. That's the book in the background. This is the book I'll be talking about tonight. And Kwame Ahoy writes in the book, and I will tell you what Kwame Ahoy wrote so that you can see. Let me not take away from that. Let's get back to the script in there. So, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to end here. I think my chairman really wants me to end. Your TV is about to go off, guys. I think my chairman really wants me to end. So I'll end here. So this is it. And as a matter of public record, we did not lie, we did not fabricate, we did not concoct. The official records at the Council of State show that Togbe Afede attended 16% of the meetings. And in terms of committee meetings, we've already showed you what happened in terms of committee meetings. Here ends our story. We have a lot of respect for Togbe Afede. We love him, and we have showed you our text with him. He's my friend, he's my man. I don't know whether I should say now about this wedding car and all that. Maybe I should. Are the photographs ready? I wanted to show the photographs of everything that happened. I'll take the break. When I come back, I'll talk about that. Wait for that. That's going to come. That's going to come because I see NDC people on it. You know, I support Akufo-Addo. You support John Mahama. There should be no problem. People write to me and say, "Why don't you use your program to criticize the government? It's the program for you. Do your program and criticize government." I don't understand it. This is private sector. When the Supreme Court ruled in NPP and GBC, they said that the obligation is on the state broadcaster. In NPP and GBC, the Supreme Court said, and then you tell me that, why don't you criticize the government? Other people are criticizing the government. Watch that one. If you like, today we all have media. Today we are all television. So go on Facebook and criticize the government. There's no problem with that. The government ought to be criticized. Governments are there so that they are criticized. If I support Akufo-Addo because of my conviction, and I feel there's something in there that is not good, that's not working well, I will not criticize him on this television. Because I have access to him, I'll go to him and tell him, and tell Mr. President, I think so and so and so and so. What some of you might not know is that some of the greatest friends of Akufo-Addo are harder critics of him in camera than you are, but you write it on Facebook and they don't write it on Facebook. That's the only difference. So you will not ask me that, come on and criticize the government. I will not do that. Okay. All right. So, it's gone. So I'll end it here. Let me take text messages. I'll come back and do the other aspect. But I have to conclude by saying that we have tremendous respect for Togbe Afede. I still love him as a big senior brother, uncle. And I think he's a great mind. I think he has a lot to offer. I think he's a great leader. This morning, I heard my friend Captain Smart berating me. People called me to watch, so I watched. And Captain Smart, I like his shades. Captain Smart, he has these shades. He was early in the morning in the studio, he's wearing shades. and he was criticizing my suit. And I was suit pumping. And Captain Smart said that he doesn't know Togbe Afede, and Togbe Afede has an aircraft, and my father doesn't have an aircraft. I said, "Oh, see there when I heard all that." It's okay, Captain. It's part of the occupational hazards. I still love you tremendously. But the point is that, Captain, you say you don't know Togbe Afede. I know him. And Togbe Afede said it in the interview. I've been to his house. I've been around him, and it's true. He's a hard worker. It is true. I have admiration for his penchant for work. It is true. And I have admiration for his fearless honesty. It is true. But the facts are pointing to what we have told you tonight. Okay. Do you want me to take a break? All right. After the break, this is Good Evening Ghana. We'll be back. We have two more things to say. Article 71, Kwame Ahoy, and then Al-Hassan Bello is here with me. I don't know whether his candidate won in Nigeria or my candidate won. We'll talk about it. After the break, we'll be right back.
Light of the world, you step down into darkness. Open my eyes, let me see beauty that makes this heart adore you. Hope of a life spent in you. Light of the world, you step down into darkness. Open my eyes, let me see beauty that makes this heart adore you. Hope of a life spent in you. Oh, here I am to worship. Here I am to bow. Oh, here I am to say that you, my God, altogether lovely, altogether worthy, altogether wonderful to me. Here I am to worship, here I am to bow down, here I am to say that you're my God. Altogether lovely, altogether worthy, altogether wonderful to me.
Okay, so the calls have been coming. Thank you very much. Mikhail informs me that we actually hit 4K. Current affairs programs don't do that. It's only because of you, our viewers, that we can do that. It just shows that after 22 years, after the whole dynamics change from television analog to social media, migrating onto social media, we have defeated them again. We are leading. Social media. Who is getting 4K? Nobody gets 4K. They won't get it because the hand of the Lord is here. Yes. We work, we work. This morning we've been at Council of State. We work. We don't just talk, we work. The young people here, they work. So if you are sitting down and thinking we just come from the sky, get ready. Okay. So this is being posted by NDC people. I hear Kevin Taylor and all those people, and they are on it. I don't even understand it, but let me read it. Paul Adomachi borrowed Togbe Afede's 7 Series BMW for his wedding on Friday, 30 December. 2005. Togbe Afede was the one who paid most of. Who told them that? Paul Adomachi's school fees at law school. He eventually failed to become a lawyer because he couldn't pass his exams. Yeah! As for this matter, it's sweet me, keke. When I talk the law, do I look like somebody who couldn't pass exams? The people, election petition, you were watching me, you were learning law, I didn't pass exam. Kwame Nkrumah too didn't finish law school. He wrote a book, he's a professor of law. Kwame Nkrumah, and when they talk like that, I don't even understand. Some parliamentarians say Paul is not a lawyer. Even a lawyer, Kwame Nkrumah is not a lawyer. You don't understand the thing, you just talk. Some people even think I wrote law school entry exam. At my time, we were writing law school entry exams. You don't understand it, and then you're just happy about it. You just talk about it. Whether a person is a lawyer or not, when you articulate the law, you will know every day. Okay. And then they said, in life, we have to be careful not to be ungrateful to the hand that has fed us before. Paul Adomachi is currently board chairman of Ghana Airport Company, and his wife also, I know they put the wedding photograph. Okay. So I borrowed Togbe Afede's car 2 hours for a wedding. So what? So what? You think when I was doing I didn't have a car? I won't talk about that. When I was doing my wedding, I was already a director at City FM. We had set it up, City FM. I already was working, doing Good Evening Ghana. It had already been successful by then. Togbe Afede was a great friend of mine. I learned so much from him. I was talking to Togbe Afede about this wedding. And I said, Togbe, you know what? Kofi Amwa is giving me his car, BMW 7 Series for the wedding. This wedding had about 14 cars, okay? 2 of the cars were mine, and all the others were given by people. Given. When I said I was going to get married, people blessed me. I was favored in that manner. So I said to Togbe, Kofi Amwa is giving me his BMW 7 Series. Kofi Amwa's car and Togbe's car is exactly the same car. I'm going to show you the photographs here. It's exactly the same car. So I said, Togbe, you know what? I need your car so that when the thing opens, the 2 BMWs will come. Then the Mercedes will follow. Then this one. I'm always like that. People who know me know I'm like that. Togbe laughed and said, okay, I'll give you the car. That's the story. And then they can write and say, okay, so here it is. So this is the wedding day, right? This is Togbe Afede's car. And the other cars are around. But this is Togbe Afede's car. This Mercedes you see here, I don't know whether you can see it. The Mercedes you see, if you put it on the screen so I can point it and see, this Mercedes you see here, C-Class Mercedes, it's my own car. Me, my own car. The wedding, I was 30, how old was I? It's brand new Mercedes I bought from Silver Star. It was my own car. This is Togbe Afede's car. So I'll show you. Get me there. Let's move on. This is Togbe Afede's car. Now, if you look in this photograph, this one is Kofi Amwa's car. It's the same type of BMW that Togbe Afede gave us. So what is the point? So I'm explaining that matter they've been talking about it as if it's some crime, as if we've caught you. As for them, every day they are catching people. So even there's no catching, they think they've found something. Pray that when you are doing your wedding, you will have 2 brand new cars of your own. Pray. Tap into the anointing. I told you yesterday that present the venison, that the blessing meant for Enoch will come to you. Instead of you doing that, you are giggling. Don't giggle forever, okay? Because God promised Abraham something, that I tap into that blessing. He said to Abraham, your enemies will be my enemies, and your friends will be my friends. So I tap into that blessing. So stop the giggling. So this is the story. This car is Kofi Amwa's car. This car is Togbe Afede's car. They are exactly the same car. So I just wanted to show off. That's all. So I asked Togbe to give me the car. He gladly did. Then he talked about school fees. Okay. At that time, I was in law school, Makola. I had done Legon 3 years. I had done Legon LLB 2 years. I was in law school, Makola. And I told Togbe that I'm in law school, Makola. I said, oh, is that what? They had introduced a new fee regime. So he had heard about it. I said, yeah, Togbe, please. It took a while. And then his Togbe is number 2 at the firm. This is SAS, a lady. I don't want to mention her name. So she was sort of facilitating. Togbe told her that, can you do a check for Paul's school fees? Okay, so I'm making a confession to you. So the day when the money was kind of ready, the lady called me. I almost mentioned her name. It's a very common name, so I'm happy I didn't mention. She called me and said, your check is ready. I was sitting by one of my friends. He said, your check is ready. And I said, check. He said, yes, the money that Togbe said we should organize for your school fees. It wasn't all the school fees, by the way. And I said, oh, check there. How? Me, I want cash. So I went to Togbe. I said, Togbe, the lady says the thing is check. Me, I want cash. He laughed and he was considering it. And the lady said, no, hey, Paul, we can't do cash. Because they needed to do check for their tax things. The check must go in the name of Ghana School of Law so they can get their tax stuff like that. Because the reason why I was lobbying for the cash, by that time the school fees was paid. Togbe said he would pay some, but it took a while. Of course, it goes through process. By that time the school fees was paid. I took the check, went to my director of legal education. I said, Chief, I've paid the school fees, but this is check. What do we do? He said, I'll put it in for your next semester. I said, oh, next semester I can find. He said, so what do you want to do? I said, I want cash. I said, you can't get cash. This is going to be paid to Ghana School of Law. If you want cash, when you have finished the Ghana School of Law and we are doing reconciliation, it will come back to you from Accountant General, something. It won't come early. And I put the check in. I was very grateful to Togbe and of course, the lady who facilitated it. Now, what is the point about this? Do you know how many people have given me school fees money? So what's the point about that? I don't even get it. I don't understand it. But anyway, people wanted me to react to this story. So this is the story. There are some more. This is another Mercedes. Somebody had bought his brand new Mercedes. I won't mention his name. He heard I was going to get married. He gave it to me. Somebody paid a trip for me to go to Paris. I was favored. Those days I was favored. I said I was going to get married. He said, oh, where are you going to do your shopping? I didn't even understand. If you are going to get married, you do shopping somewhere. I didn't understand it. He said, you want to go to Paris or Italy? I said, hey, to do what? He said, to do your shopping. I told my wife that, they said, okay, Paris, KLM, bam, Paris, Champs-Élysées. I was there. Somebody paid. When I was there, people were calling me. So what are you doing? When are you coming? Do you want to go to America? Kofi Amwa. I spoke to him this evening, just now. He brought me to Los Angeles. And if I show you my text with Kofi Amwa, it's like my text with Togbe Afede. We argue about constitutional. In fact, even this evening, we're arguing about constitution. He was telling me that he was criticizing inflation in Ghana this evening when we had a conversation. And he said, look, Paul, this inflation in Ghana. I said, oh, Doc, hold on. Inflation in Los Angeles where you are? I said, no, but the Ghana inflation is different. We do that all the time. It's nation building. And if I show you my last text with Kofi Amon, he was telling me that, when are you coming back to LA to come and spend some time with me? Because he's in LA for a while. And he keeps reminding me that I have a blue shirt in his guest room in his house in Beverly Hills in Los Angeles. Yes, my shirt has been there since 2009. It's still there. And Kofi Amon and Togbe Afede are very good friends. I mean, when you sit in the company of Kofi Amon, Togbe Afede, and they are chatting, and you're a young man, it is like you've gone to university for that period. And I had these privileges, and I enjoyed it. And part of the reason why I'm able to do what I do is some of all those different people who gave me mentorship. Nana Bedie Tu Emaulia Bebio, Kelly Gajekpo, Doha Jao, all of these people. So you come and publish, and I give you a car to do it. This guy, he had just bought his car. He said, come and take it. And he insisted that the bride must sit in the car. This is the car. This is the wedding pictures. They are there plenty. If you go to photo club, they used to put it there. I think these days they've stopped. I've become an old man, so I'm no longer at the distance. So they've stopped. Anyway, so that's the story. And the skill that we wore, I was having a conversation with another senior person. And he said, but Paul, now that you wear all your suits finished, this is your wedding. What are you going to wear? I said, hey, maybe I'll wear African print. He said, oh, what African print? You don't want Scottish kilts? I said, huh? Scottish kilts? But where are we going to get it from? He said, we go buy it for London. In fact, I spoke to him also today, just now. I won't mention his name. He's an NDC person. Proper NDC person is the one I'm talking to you about. He said, we go buy it for London. Then the thing started, I started getting excited. I said, He said, we could go for London, go buy. And I said, but how do we get it? He said, go to London and go and bring it. He organized it. I flew to London. I got that thing, I put it on the plane, I came back, we went to British High Commission, they showed us how to wear it, and we wore it. It was somebody who just offered it. So pray that you can tap into that blessing. Stop giggling. Pray that you can tap into that blessing. That's more important than giggling. So that's the parts for this story. I think it's over. I think that it's fine. I've said enough about it. Okay, once my phone starts ringing, and I see the number that is calling me, it is indicating to me that stop this part of the story. It is done. All right. Text messages. It looks like you're not ready. Matilda, you're relaxing. Everybody's relaxing. Who is ready?
Actually enjoying you.
Okay, Matilda, let me hear you.
All right. So we have a lot of messages, and then I'm going to start with one from Evans Fandi. And he says, Paul, I salute you. I'll definitely defend you anytime, anywhere, and always. Continue to teach them. And also from Percy Brown, and as much as I condemn what Paul is doing, I also think Togbe Afede could have returned the money genuinely without making news of it. People return undeserving monies every day without making it news. What the revered king did amounts to sort of populism and will definitely attract people like Paul to dig into skeletons in the closet. And also from Boafo Lewis, we're waiting for more education. Go higher, senior.
From Francis Edubuatin, he says, Paul, I think you are dragging this issue too much. Togbe, I believe, returned the money because per the information you are about to put there was not able to attend a sizable number of meetings. So if he feels because of that, he doesn't feel he's qualified to take the money, why make a fuss about it? Remember, the world goes round. Don't sell your hard-earned reputation because of your airport board. This is from Lion Aladi. He says, Paul is a great guy, and GEG show is no doubt a leading current affairs program in Ghana. The chief shouldn't have called Paul a stomach journalist, but all the same, Paul must not show the hardcore evidence because of respect to the chief and their past relationship. Enimotre Berma says, long live Uncle Paul. Demons panic and disappear whenever they hear your voice. In fact, we need more of you. You have really taken journalism to a different level. Congratulations to the one and only anointed journalist of our time, the touchscreen commander, jet fighter, F-22 Raptor. Paul, Adom, what should you do or...
Cynthia Cristobal.
Canizaro sent me a text. Charlie, Canizaro, I didn't know that you are still there. Hey, Canizaro says that, Massa, you know, these are my people, so that's how they address me. It's fine. He says, Massa, enough, we beg. Don't give more details. You have made your case. Chill, cry, don't bother. You are super. Yeah, Canizaro is my man, you know, he's a pharmacist. Yeah. Canizaro. Yeah, Charlie, Canizaro, big up, man. Yeah, we'll meet again, yeah. Are you still, Canizaro, are you still at the Roman Rich Jolu, that place that you used to have it. Kanizaro, since you made money, you don't look for me. Since me and you all were in the trenches, now you made money, you don't look for me. I'm always seeing you on the football platform. You are talking about Arsenal, Kanizaro, look for me, Charlie. I have had about 10 birthdays that you don't know about. So Charlie, each birthday, package. And let's see you. All right, great. Nana B.
Yes, Cynthia Christabel Kujo says that, Paul, the man of the moment, look at how people are rushing to listen to your in-depth knowledge and wisdom. And this one says that Stanley Akobo, please learn more about fashion. Why? It's called colors blocking, so there's nothing wrong with his combination. I think someone was talking about
there's a problem with the dress. they didn't say it's gay. They didn't say it's gay.
Okay, this one
I've
says...
suffered, though. Yeah.
And this one says that no one is above... Okay. Yes, no one is above criticism. People are trying to use this issue to gag you, and it's a political tactic used when they realize you are exposing them. Keep the good work, and do not be intimidated because Ghana is for all of us. God bless you, Paul. And this one says that if we stop insulting, carry on the good work. Hypocrisy is astronomical in this country. God bless you, Paul, once again.
Okay, also from Nicholas Buediofori. I watched your show because I believe you speak with facts, and today you have confirmed my conviction. Good job. God bless you. From Festus Dantel. This is why I love Paul. The man has never hidden his support for Akufo-Addo, unlike some people who pretend. And then from Kenny Esopoku, Paul is just unpredictable. Even Rollins took the heat from Paul. Ha ha ha.
I said, Togbe Afede, please, we applaud the return of the money. What we disagree is the propaganda stance your letter sought to portray out there to create this dissatisfaction for your former colleagues on the board, as if they had no conscience receiving theirs. Please, we respect your revered title, but please, we will not accept deceptive antics meant to denigrate other citizens. Aaron Babako Koko Misa says, issues about chieftaincies are solely handled by royals. Chieftaincy issues cannot in any way be handled by the media. I think the current negative atmosphere that is hovering around should be handled by the right dignitaries to let peace and understanding prevail. Emmanuel Germain says, my question is, can Paul call Togbe when he sees him? We shouldn't let politics destroy relationship we have with others. I totally don't see anything wrong with Togbe returning his ex-gratia.
Faroe Jr. says that, Paul, don't mind them. You don't have points, yeah? We like a captain. We like the captain, how he does his show. And we like the way you do yours too. So let them talk. Why? We have, what did he say? He said, we have even posted you on our statuses here as we are in our rooms. Yeah. Okay, that's all for now. Yeah.
This is from Chrissy Reynolds. He says, truth is, ex-gratia must be scrapped simpliciter. Now, Dr. Babazamo says, I think we are giving this issue of Togbe Afede so much airwaves. Let's focus on our if we see something, say something. We have to remain focused on our security matter. Anyway, special greetings to Honorable Stephen Intim, incoming national chairman. Now, Mami Kinedu in Agbogba says, good evening, Paul. Great to know you've done some real work and have documents to corroborate your position on Togbe. Stay your course. In the end, everyone will know the real intention for returning the money by the Honorable Togbe Afede. There were several options available to him to address this issue, if it did bother him that much.
Okay, let me... we are running out of time. I have another text message. Whether you like it or not, I'll read it. It's from Kojo Ponkruma, my man. He says, Charlie, at 4K, you be legend. Honorable Minister, by the grace of God, Honorable Minister, by the grace of God. Okay, let me do this very quickly. This is back into that. They tell me at 15 minutes, I really want to do the Kwame Nkrumah one. But let me do the Council of State. So this is Article 89 of the Constitution, Council of State. Quick, is that correct? 89, yeah? Okay. There shall be a Council of State to counsel the President in the performance of his functions. The allowances and privileges of the Council Chairman and other members of the Council of State shall be charged on the Consolidated Fund and shall not be varied to their disadvantage while they hold office. Okay, who determines the privileges and the allowances of the Council of State members is here. And that's Article 71, 2 and 3. The salaries and allowances payable and the facilities available to the President, the Vice President, the Chairman and other members of the Council of State, Ministers of State, and Deputy Ministers, being expenditure charged on the Consolidated Fund, shall be determined by Parliament on the recommendations of a committee. It says shall be determined. So Parliament must make a determination under an obligation of the Constitution. The obligation is created upon Parliament by the Constitution to make a determination on the recommendations of a committee referred to clause 1 of this article. Okay, let's move on. For the purpose of this article, and except otherwise provided in this constitution, salaries. And Togbe Afede agreed that he took salaries. Okay, and Council of State takes salaries. Dr. Ajimandia believes they shouldn't. I can agree with him, but it's a national conversation we must have. Okay, so provided in this constitution, salaries. It includes, and this is the point I made on Tuesday, people didn't like. The salaries includes allowances, facilities, and privileges, and the retiring benefits and awards. It could be oranges, it could be grapes, or it could be cash. But once that determination is made, it is not illegal. People say, why do you give them cash? And why do you give them cash every 4 years? Because the thing says, the thing runs them by term, a term of the Council of State. When a Council of State term has ended, then they go to the emoluments. It is a constitutional obligation. Those who say it's not a constitutional obligation, I don't understand what kind of law they are interpreting. It's a constitutional obligation. And here it doesn't say ex gratia. Yes, so what? It doesn't say ex gratia means nothing. Anybody who is concerned about the fact that the word ex gratia is not here does not understand law. Well, it doesn't have to say ex gratia. It says salaries. It includes allowances, facilities, privileges, retiring benefits, and awards. And we have called it ex gratia. Okay, so you can decide that the retiring benefits ought not to be cash. It should be oranges. So when you finish Council of State, we give you 12 oranges. That's it. When we give the 12 oranges, I still stand by the point that you cannot return it. Once you took the salary, you will take the oranges because the law says so. It is together. So if you want to return, you better return everything. You can't say, I want to return some. It doesn't work. Okay, so, please put it back on. I'm not quite done. I know you want me to finish quickly. I'll finish quickly, but I'm not quite done. Okay, it could be oranges, it could be grapes. In our case, it is cash. So if this cash is paid, it's not asset now. There's nothing wrong with it. If we don't want it, we take it out. But let's not create some heroes out of something that is not heroism. And say that he returned the cash. And I heard voices saying that, how many Ghanaians will do that? How many Ghanaians will do that? Have you forgotten 79? These people come as saviors and they kill people for having 2 toilets in their bathroom and all of that. And they end up the way we end up as a country because we don't focus on the superstructure and we are driven by personalities, some of them who hoodwink us into believing they are what they are not. And I'll say that again. Some of those personalities have hoodwinked us as a country historically to believe that they are what they are not by doing these gestures, these petty gestures of anti-corruption and all of that, and have taken our minds away from dealing with the superstructure and see how we can amend the superstructure so that it works for all of us. So we are not going to rely on the goodness of men and women. We are going to rely on the sustainability of the law. And that's what they do in England. That's why Boris Johnson faced the votes this week, because his term has not ended. But the Conservative Party, which he leads, says that we want to change you. Come to the vote. He had to submit himself. Thankfully, he won. We don't have that process system in Ghana. Tonight, I'll be showing you Kwame Nkrumah's thing, how we toyed with the Constitution. I really need time to do that. Okay, so let me leave it here. Oranges and grapes, etc. Now, if an award is included in the provision, then can ex gratia be termed as a retiring benefit or award? Okay, so here we come to Black's Law Dictionary. The 4th revised edition, and it explains what ex gratia is. It says, ex gratia is paid out of grace, as a matter of grace, favor, or indulgence, gratuitous, a term applied to anything accorded as a favor, as distinguished from that which may be demanded, ex debito, as a matter of right. So that the point why we call it ex gratia is that it is not really a matter of right. It's as a result of the favor we think that you have done us as a nation. And think about it. Look at Togbe Afede's profile. Hasn't he done Ghana a favor by being on the Council of State and participating in debate and deploying his skills to the Council of State? He's done us a favor, so we give him ex gratia for the favor that he has done us. It's not illegal. If we don't want it, we obliterate Article 71 from the 1992 Constitution. That's the point I made on Tuesday, and it created all this. I don't know how this point can create such hula baloo, blah, 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 blah. But it did. It's okay, fine. Today, here we are doing 4K. Fantastic. Last time we did 4K was only to me or Sami JP, something like that. That was in Laboni. In fact, since we came to Ridge, we've never, hey, shall I need to buy you guys Mawako and things tonight? Since we came to Ridge, we've never done 4K before. This is the first one. Fantastic. Yes. So, because people want to understand it, you know, people want to understand it. Okay. They tell me they want to go off Metro TV. If you go off Metro TV, the people will kill you, please. Don't go off. Wait a little bit. All right. So I've ended that one. And I have to say this for my video editor so he knows that that part is ended. We'll package it to be on social media, that small part. Now let's come to Kwame Ahoy. I'm going to run through this quickly. But those of you on social media, wait, because Alhassan Bello is coming. Spiritually, he's come back from Nigeria. And he's going to tell us what happened. Chidibu won, by the way. But the surprising thing was Osibanjo's abysmal performance. Okay, Justice D.F. Fanan, may he rest in peace. So let's go through this very quickly. This is Kwame Ahoy giving us the history of the 1992 Constitution. Okay, he said that he's talking about a committee. This had been tagged to onto a UNDP-sponsored project, decentralization planning, being executed by the Ministry of Local Government. Okay, so I have to run through quickly. Kwame Ahoy is saying here in this slide that I'll push away that the money for the committee to look at the Constitution was coming from a decentralization process around PAMSCAD. I need to move on. Okay, so here are the committee members. Now we can take it step by step. The committee members, the members of the committee that constituted to put the Constitution together. Dr. SKB Asante was chairman. Osajefo Osadieyo, Dr. Ajiman Bedu, Domahine was a member. Mrs. Justice Anija Agye, may she rest in peace, very distinguished judge, was a member. Mr. L. J. Chinri Hesse was a member. Mr. Ebo Bentienchel was a member. Mr. Kwejo Afarijan was a member. He later to become electoral commissioner. Dr. Charles Djibuni was a member. Dr. Professor Evie Odankwa, my former lecturer, was a member. And Mrs. Sabina Ofori Boatin was also a member. It goes on. Justice Annan and the NCD suggested most of the members of the committee. Justice Annan was the liaison between the PNDC and the committee during his work and held a series of meetings with the chairman of the committee and at times with the committee in relation to his work. He was conversant with the essential arguments that had been advanced for the various systems of government, such as the executive presidency of the USA type. Now, these are the systems of government that Kwame Ahoy says were considered. Executive presidency of the USA type, a presidency with a prime minister of the French type, that's a split executive, and the possibility of a constitutional court outside the mainstream judiciary to deal with constitutional disputes. He shared his views and experience with the committee, some of which must have reflected in the options defined by the committee for a final decision. Now, this is very interesting. It's getting interesting. Let's look at it. According to the chairman of the committee, Nana Dr. SKB Asante, Justice Annan and Captain Chikata had now, note that I always said that the Constitution was created for a military junta, Flight Lieutenant Rawlins and Captain Kojo Chikata. It is for them that the 1992 Constitution was created. You will see it here. Let's move on. According to the chairman of the committee, Nana Dr. SKB Asante, Justice Annan and Captain Chikata had been most instrumental in getting him to accept to work on the committee and to chair it. He had known Justice Annan from 1966 when the two of them were working at the Attorney General's Department at a time when Justice Annan was in charge of the Kumasi office. Their friendship grew when he returned from further studies abroad in 1969 and became a Solicitor General. But it was really cemented in 1975 when, as a judge, Justice Annan was appointed chairman of a committee of inquiry into the alleged fraudulent sale of some residual fuel, and Justice Annan cleared him of all the allegations of complicity in the crime. Hey, this is interesting. Residual fuel, it started long ago like that, 75. Can you imagine that? It says their friendship was cemented when Justice Annan, as a chairman of a committee of inquiry into the alleged fraudulent sale of some residual fuel, and Justice Annan cleared him of the allegations of complicity in the crime. That was when he really came to appreciate Justice Annan's integrity. So when the latter approached him in 1992 with the PNDC's offer of the position of chairman of the Committee of Experts Constitution, he had no hesitation in accepting it. In any case, he had been discussing the process for a return to constitutional rule for quite some time with both Justice Annan and Captain Chikata during his frequent visits to Ghana from his United Nations New York base at the time. Nana Dr. Asante also confirmed that he discussed with Justice Annan the directive from the PNDC for the committee to consider a proposed executive structure of a president and a prime minister, a proposal that was eventually rejected. So from the PNDC angle, they were looking for a constitutional executive that has an executive and a prime minister. And I'll tell you the story behind that. The story behind that was that Flight Lieutenant Rawlins was to be retained as the executive and PV Obi was to be the prime minister. This was the packaging from the PNDC angle. Let's see how it got toppled. Okay. The two also discussed the real likelihood of weak parliamentary oversight of the executive in the light of what eventually became Article 108 of the Constitution, under which members of parliament cannot initiate bills with financial implications. I think that has been corrected now. No, it hasn't been corrected. We just have added private members' bill, but it still cannot have financial implications. Okay. The terms of reference of the Committee of Experts, originally drafted by Kwame Nkrumah himself, and approved with amendment by Justice D.F. Annan and Captain Chikata. You see how Captain Chikata, as a security couple, was principally interested in participating in constitutional arrangement. Captain Chikata is a security couple, but he was deployed there by Flight Lieutenant Rawlings to look after his interests because they wanted a certain kind of constitution. That is why this constitution needs an amendment. It was done for the military junta of J.J. Rawlings and Kojo Chikata. Okay, so it goes on. Captain Chikata and incorporated into the committee's experts by the PNDC were to draw up a draft constitution for Ghana, taking into account the following. 1. The report of the NCD of 25th March 1991 on evolving through democracy, the abrogated constitutions of Ghana 1957, 60, 69, 79, etc. Such other matters relating to the proposals for a draft constitution as the PNDC may refer, and any other matter which in the opinion of the committee is reasonably reflected in the foregoing. In imperative terms, the PNDC directed under Section 4.2 that the proposals of the committee shall E. Provide for an executive presidency to be elected on the universal adult suffrage, provided for a prime minister who must command a majority in the National Assembly, provide for a National Assembly to be elected on the basis of universal adult suffrage. So this is the PNDC's proposal. The PNDC proposed for an executive president to be elected, J.J. Rawlings, a prime minister who must command majority in parliament, PV Obey, MP for Otchere. That's how it was going to be. Provide for a national assembly that was also elected. This is the PNDC's proposal. Let's see how it was shut down. Okay. And then guarantee, protect, and secure the enforcement and enjoyment of every person in Ghana of the fundamental human rights and freedoms, including the freedom of speech, freedom of arbitrary arrest, blah, 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 etc. Provide for a free and independent judiciary, guarantee the freedom and independence of the media. Provide for directive principles of state policy that shall ensure participatory democracy and sound management of the national economy. Provide for a decentralized system of national administration based on a non-partisan district assembly with development as its objective and including revenue sharing clauses. Okay. Reflect a commitment to equal and balanced development of all parts of Ghana, particularly in the allocation of national resources. Okay, let's move on. The Committee of Experts did not accept some of the directives of the PNDC and for the Constitution. They rejected the proposal for a Francophone-style split executive between executive president and the prime minister. Let's move on. The committee also rejected the proposal for a proportional representation in favor of majoritarian system. I don't like that. They should have taken proportional representation. Let's move on. The committee instead opted for an executive presidency with a prime minister who will be the head of government administration, and the leader of government business in parliament, as well as the first past the post system of elections. So even though the committee rejected the PNDC's original proposal, this is what they came with. They opted for an executive presidency, Rawlings, a prime minister, PV Obey, who would be the head of government. Okay, so let's move on. It also proposed the appointment of ministers from both inside and outside parliament, with the majority coming from inside parliament, a council of state with a judicial committee, and defined functions and powers. The Council of State doesn't have the judicial committee that they wanted, but they proposed it. A parliament from which the members of the public service, such as the police service, the civil service, and the armed forces, will not be qualified. A judiciary with the power of judicial review of executive and legislative action, and a partisan central government superimposed on a non-partisan decentralized system of local government. That's very controversial, but that's what we have. The report of the Committee of Experts was put directly before a consultative assembly, which had been constituted by the PNDC as the main reference document for the preparation of the Constitution. So this is where the changes begin. This is interesting now. The establishment of the Consultative Assembly was not without problems. The initial problem arose with the Association of Recognized Professional Bodies led by the Ghana Bar Association, which demanded the establishment of a directly elected Constituent Assembly to prepare the Constitution, as had been the case in the past. Now let me explain this. The Ghana Bar Association were saying that Now you have the constitution, the draft constitution. You want an assembly to look at it. Let's elect the members of the assembly from around the country. Let's not have government appointing people because they didn't trust the PNDC government. They suspected the PNDC government was going to pack the house with its people and they were going to railroad the PNDC's agenda of what a constitution should be. And that's exactly what happened. The fears of the Ghana Bar Association came to pass. Let's move on. Mr. Justice Hayfron Benjamin's appointment as Deputy Speaker of the Consultative Assembly was particularly intriguing. An avowed critic of the PNDC, he was a chairman of the Ghana Democratic Movement, a UK-based anti-PNDC opposition group. That Justice Annan, Captain Chikata, and the PNDC were able to convince him and to cede this critical position to him was a credit to the PNDC's appreciation of political realism, focus, and commitment in an increasingly hostile international environment. The PNDC ultimately succeeded in steering its own political future and that of Ghana from the path of political confusion and chaos, as Kwame Nkrumah writes. More to come. In spite of Justice Hayfron Benjamin's position and the role in the Consultative Assembly, the professional bodies thought that the PNDC had cleverly packed the assembly with elements and organizations biased in its favor and consequently opted not to participate in the deliberation. I think that this was a wrong decision of the Ghana Bar. So I'm sure with the benefit of hindsight, we know that. When I go to the next slide, you see how wrong it was. The professionals didn't come. Ghana Bar Association, Ghana Medical Association, Institution of Engineers, they decided to boycott the processes to give us a new constitution. They boycotted it. So when they boycotted it, who did it? Have a look. Okay. The Consultative Assembly membership included, now listen carefully, viewers. It's included, these are the people who put the constitution together for us. When the proposals went from the experts, these are the people who put it together for us. No disrespect intended. I'm just showing you the history of our constitution. The Consultative Assembly membership included representatives from the Committee for the Defense of the Revolution, 1. Butchers Association, 2. Canoe Fishermen Association, 3. Cooperative Distillers Association, 4. Gold and Silver Smith Association, 5. Tailors and Dressmakers Association, 6. Ghana Traditional Caterers Association, formerly known as Chop Bar Keepers Association, 7. Hairdressers Association, Inland Canoe Fishermen Association, Inshore Boat Owners Association, Drinking Bar Operators Association, Bakers Association, a Traditional Medical Healers Association. In the end, the Ghana Bar Association and the National Union of Ghana Students boycotted proceedings of the Assembly, which sat for 6 solid months. For 6 months, this group of people were reviewing the documents prepared by Professor Justice Anijage. They were reviewing the documents prepared by SKB Asante. For 6 months, this association were reviewing the documents to propose a new constitution for Ghana. That's what happened. That may be the reason why we need to amend the constitution after 30 years. This is the process of the constitution we have now. And so now you understand what I've been saying every day. It would appear that initially Justice Annan supported the idea of a constituent assembly, but he would. Justice Annan will support the idea of a constituent assembly that's elected so that the government doesn't control it. As the norm in the constitution making in Ghana, he was anxious to ensure that the delicate work of the Consultative Assembly was not upset by strident objection from a minority comprising a vocal legal fraternity and the intellectual leaders of the youth. Justice Annan was a great man. He was concerned about this. That why? Okay, let's do the Constituent Assembly thing. Let's just have people elected, and then they should come. So if you are Sami Okujeto, you go to Northtown, get elected, and come. And Annan was thinking about that, and that's what they should have done, because Annan was concerned that you don't want this thing to be criticized and it doesn't look like it's a national thing. And Kwame Nkrumah is the one writing this with Nana Atudaze, I have to say. However, he says, Justice Annan became assured that ultimately a referendum of the people as a whole to approve the work of the Constitutive Assembly was a better option. This was not difficult for him because his work at the NCD had brought him to appreciate that true democracy was not merely a conclave of the learned few or those who consider themselves as political elites. I agree with that. True democracy is not a conclave or learned few, but in building the laws that will govern a country. Plato said something, that the salvation of the state lay in removing government from untutored hands so that the society will be governed according to the findings of philosophy. It's in page 25 of Plato's Laws. Check it. It's in the Political Science Library. Go and read it. Page 25 of Plato's Laws. Plato defines it. He says, the salvation of the state, how the state will be saved, The salvation of the state lay in removing government from untutored hands so that the society will be governed according to the findings of philosophy. So in putting our constitution together, we really needed a certain group of people to do it. But yes, democracy is not a conclave of some elite people. Democracy is for everyone. I agree with that. And I think I agree with Kwame Nkrumah here as well. In his numerous consultations with a cross-section of Ghanaian community, including chiefs, businessmen, etc. Okay, let me move on. Jazanan ensured that the consultative process was open to the various strata of society, and different social and economic interests were involved in the process. Okay, great. The PNDC's preference for a consultative assembly as against a constituent assembly was itself tied to its original objective of establishing a true democracy for Ghana as reflected in PNDC Law 42, blah, blah, blah. Okay. From the perspective of Justice Annan, the only persons who could ever be excluded will be those who opted not to be part of the process. Okay, let's move on. It says, consistent with this objective, the PNDC opted to show openness and sincerity to the various strata of society, the different social and economic interests from grassroots upwards, etc., etc. Okay, in a statement, the PNDC said it regarded the document. Okay, this is when the document was ready. So, I'm done. This is the history. So you see, what happened to executive president, prime minister? Everything changed into one president who has all the executive powers provided Article 58. It was a constitution created for military junta. Let's end it. Okay, what's the time now? 11 minutes past 11. Yay, Bello. Where is he? He's not here. Do you have some text messages? Do a few. Let me confer with Bello and see what we can do.
Okay, from Miftahu Tamale Sabondija. You've seen how the exceptional journalist of the country, Paul, utilized the RTI. Hey, I just noticed there is a journalist Pro Max, and that is Adom Otchere, while all others are Nokia 3310. Man is intelligent. Wow. From Don Medical, Paul, please give my uncle Evans Akanjele a tweak, a shout out. And then also from Abubakar Eufu, 2 decades of professionalism, excellence, and eloquence. What a masterclass. From Derek Ofe Jr., keep showing us the way, sir. You are a genius by all standards. Proper fidelity to data. We are watching, but not alone. We do so with haters of the craft, but today, I know they will believe in the end. Let's go, mighty Paul.
Emmanuel Azieku says, I think the money should be given back to Paul so that we have our peace of mind. Samuel Mensah says, Paul, I think you are being biased towards Togbe. Even if he attended one meeting and he returns his ex gratia, what is wrong with that? I'm expecting you to also return your sitting allowance as a board chair of Ghana Airports. Dionli Abe says, great Paul, you may be right with all your documents, but how you addressed Togbe was wrong. The kind of words and phrases you used was very disrespectful.
Thompson Owusuba, you don't like this educative show? What else? Top notch, Paul. And this one too from Akom Philip. I love you, Paul Adom Otchere. You make my night so sweet. And this one too says that if Paul loses this fight, then it means that Nanabi cost it. Unapologetic Paul Adom Otchere, I think he didn't spell it right. His critics call him Akufo-Addo, supporter or whatever, and he has owned up the names with his full chest, something other politically biased journalists and think tanks can't summon the courage to do. Instead, they do the bidding of their party under the cover of advocacy and professionalism. God bless you so much again once.
Okay, Nixon Sean Intema says, a lot of people are not getting the angle which Paul is addressing this ex gratia issue. A legal payment can be refused in a nice way, but for one to say it's abhorrent and a twist given to it, it makes it look like a dubious payment, and that is what Paul is against. 20 years of solid work, as always. And this is from Alhaji Hamza Pig Farm. He says, Paul, truth be said, your comments on Tuesday towards Togbe Afede in the bad taste looking at the relationship between you and him. I call on other senior citizens of this country to emulate him. In my humble opinion, he should be celebrated. In short, I salute him to take it or leave it. Paul, my worry is that functionaries and communicators of the NPP, including the current chairman of the NPP, use bad words on the king, but they could not use such language on other chiefs. Posterity will be our judge. Now, Aiken's job in Takoradi said, Paul, you have been very modest with Togbe Afede. Thank you for that, and your facts are facts. Now, Mark Otchere says, my problem over this brouhaha is why he didn't use the money to at least build a library in his town, since he wants the money to be used to help the country. This is in Shenimu, and he shouldn't have done that.
It's bad, Papa. What?
I'm
He said
a god.
hold on. Bello has to come. He says he needs 10 minutes, you know. And Bello, did you win or you lost in Nigeria?
Me?
Yes, you. You predicted Tinubu was going to win. I mean, I was for Tinubu before. You were not. But you predicted he was going to win. I have to congratulate you for that. What kind of president do you want?
Well, I just say a president that will secure Nigeria. Security is very important.
Security. You don't want us to go to Togbe's house and talk to him about something. Okay, Flight Lieutenant Rollins had something to say, didn't he? Do watch it now. Can't have a look.
Sir, sorry, your friend will say, Adom Otchere, Adom or something. No, or Kika kwasi asem. Entrepreneurs, next time, make take it time, make Tremu Asia say yes, private capital or capitalism, socialism no Asia. Sir, sorry, your friend will say, Adom Otchere, Adom or something. No, or Kika kwasi asem. Entrepreneurs, next time, make take it time, make Tremu Asia say yes, private capital or capitalism, socialism no Asia.
The vandals are texting me that I'm talking about myself and things, and I don't say anything about vandalism, Commonwealth Hall, and how it shaped me to be able to do what I do. Of course it did, and I'm texting one T Vandal now. Of course it did, it shaped me. And the younger generation gave me a song the other day. Here it is. Today people are harassing me. Another person says, the drums that you were playing the other day and singing the gas songs, you have that video, please. My video editor has it. Here is that one too. Yeah, it's going to come soon. It's going to come. As we don't speak Ghana, Taleje or Talene, it means that the battle is not ours, it's for the Lord. And may He give us victory. And in a little while, He will give us victory. Hallelujah. Alasan, Bola Tinubu is going to be president of Nigeria.
Well,
what surprised everyone was Vice President Yemi Osibanjo came third. Yeah. What happened? It was we all said it was a contest between Bola Tinubu and Vice President Yemi, and Amechi came through quite strong.
That was a shock. That was the biggest shock of the whole thing. And then going forward, it shows that if Amechi could position himself very well, he will become the obvious leader of the Eastern wing.
Amechi is Eastern?
Yeah, he's technically an Easterner, though he's from the South.
And he's a Christian?
He's a Christian. But when we go by the old three regions, then he falls in the East.
East Igbo?
Yeah, Igbo.
Okay.
Igbo dominated.
Okay, okay.
When
Are there other tribes in the East?
There are other tribes in the East.
Okay.
But when we go by the geopolitical zones, as we have it currently, then he's south-south.
I thought south-south was Yoruba.
No, southwest is Yoruba.
Ah, okay.
And not just southwest, and some part of north.
But
central.
Jonathan is from where? Good luck.
Jonathan is south-south.
Yoruba?
No, Ijo. South-south.
Ah, Yoruba is southwest.
In the south-south, you have minorities there. Ijos, Urobo, Ishekili, Sapele, and those other smaller minority groups. And that was one of the arguments. That was how come states were born by the military government.
But Tinubu is Yoruba for sure.
Tinubu is Yoruba for sure.
Southwest,
Yeah.
Muslim. Okay, so give us the analysis. What happened?
Well, City Boy won. That's the new name he's been called.
What they say, City Boy.
The City Boy.
Oh, I see. I see. Okay.
So these are the entire 23-man list. And then, well, I think first of all, let's give Buhari a thumbs up.
Yes.
This is the first time in Nigeria's political history that the sitting government did not interfere.
Are we sure about that?
Of course.
Oh, but everyone thought that he was interfering in favor of
and
Yemi
that is the beauty of Buhari's style of leadership. He allows you to keep on guessing, speculating. What is their quiet decisions already made?
So what decision did he make?
He realized that the biggest harm APC can do to itself is Buhari's interference. Because if they come out divided, they come out of the convention divided, that gives the opposition a chance. So then any decision it takes that appears to be biased will undermine unity post that convention. So decided to be quiet. And that's what the Americans will say. Justice must not just be served. It must be seen to be served.
Seen to be served, yeah, correct. So you believe that Buhari did not interfere? He was so clever with the interference that we couldn't tell.
No, he did not. Because had he, then perhaps Osibanjo should have gotten his way.
Yeah, but maybe he did and he wasn't successful. The people didn't.
I
he's a lame duck president. Nobody's responding to him. He's not popular. So yes, that may be the reason why.
To say Buhari is not popular is quite fallacious.
Is he popular?
He is in his core part of the country.
On account of what in Nigeria, for instance? We have had NSAS, we have had actors doing personal videos to him, complaints about how he runs the country, all that. Buhari is not that popular.
NSAS was just happening within the southern portion of the country. It tells you Buhari still control the north in his firm grip from day one, as he usually had it.
But Tinubu, we knew that Buhari did not support Tinubu. We knew that.
Well, I think Buhari wanted someone which is from the administration, perhaps, to ensure continuity.
So Tinubu won against Buhari's better wishes?
Tinubu won against the number 2 and the number 3, which is Osibanjo.
That's number 2.
Lawan.
Why is he number 3?
The chairman of the National Assembly and president of the Nigerian
But he
Assembly.
didn't show up. He didn't get many votes.
No, he came
fourth. With how many votes?
I think we have the votes here, 152.
Oh, but that's so these are the people who got votes. The rest got 0 because I saw a lot of zeros.
These people pulled out.
Yeah, some pulled out, but those who went in, they got 0.
I think Ibikunle Amosun pulled out in favor of Tinubu. Likewise, Akpabio. Likewise, Boniface.
Let's go back to the results. So this is 2,000 delegates, isn't it?
2,322.
And he earned 1,200. That's a landslide.
71.
Amechi 316. Yeah. Osibanjo 235. 152. 47.
Yeah,
Bello. Is that your uncle? Dave Umahi 38.
Ahmed
Sani 4.
Of course, I knew Ahmed Sani would have a lot of problems.
But he did better than those who got 0. He got 4.
Yeah, but you see, Ahmed Sani, even if he had been presented by APC, would have been a suicide. Because there was no way Ahmed Sani would secure a vote in the South.
And then this guy got 1, isn't it?
Yeah, and there's a reason for him because he brought Sharia law into this current dispensation in Zamfara State.
Okay.
So the South loathed him perfectly for that.
I see. Okay. Let's. So what's going to be Osibanjo's political future then?
Now, you see, first of all, the result shows Tinubu's firm grip in the Southwest, which is Osibanjo's home. So technically, it keeps him very, it weakens his position in the House.
Going to the future.
Assuming
that Tinubu goes to the election and he does not win, and APC come into opposition, is Osibanjo ready to sort of lead that opposition into the next election?
I don't think so. Perhaps the bargain that was struck between Tinubu and those who pulled out of the race will influence the next decision should in case
Tinubu does not win.
But then another thing, so if Tinubu goes and does not win, does it change the arrangement of power between 8 years North, 8 years South?
Well, the APC will have to decide that. We need to.
That's another internal issue. Okay. And then another decision, as Tinubu has always been a man of consultation, a man of deep network.
I don't see Tinubu in this photograph. Where is he?
He's here.
Why is he standing? Is it not the photograph after the Congress?
No, this is one of the consultations.
Oh, okay, all right.
And then you can also see that another thing that worked for Tinubu was that aside having firm control over his home region, the network he built over the past 4 years, over the past 8 years, particularly in 2015, trying to extend Buhari's victory to the south, allows him to have some kind of communication with the northern governors, because there was this letter that came out about supporting a zone into the south. So it shows that he was able to secure that connection despite all the tensions that was behind the scene. So by getting the northern and the southern people, and this is one of his, there was those who think he was coming into the election with sense of entitlement, and to debunk that assertion, this is one of his statements. I'm a unifying leader. I have constructed a formidable political structure, one that has delivered electoral victory after electoral victory. I do not now put myself forward because I think this nomination is my due. I step forward because I believe I can lead our party towards a bright future.
Oh, I like this.
And this is to debunk.
This is deep. This is very interesting.
This is to debunk the assertion that
Asamoah Boateng is running for party chairman. Should he copy this?
What?
It's interesting.
Everybody has his style of delivery.
No, but this one you can't copy it too, because it talks about the
record.
pedigree. Yeah, it says, I'm a unifying leader. I have constructed a formidable political structure. Not many people can say that. One that has delivered electoral victory after, but that is true. He's talking about his own victories in Lagos, Fashola's victories, Buhari's victory. That's correct. He's delivered electoral victory after electoral victory. I do not now put myself forward because I think this nomination is my due. I step forward because I believe I can lead our party towards its brightest future. That's great.
And this also talks about his style of governance. You know, when he was governing Lagos State, he has the most diverse administration, made up of people from other states. For example, what is the from Ambode? Ambode is actually not from Lagos State. I think he's from Ondo State also by origin.
But he worked under Tinubu.
But he was even made a governor in Lagos State.
Okay, let me come to Ghanaians and talk about this thing I've been talking about, electing DCs and electing. That's what happens in Nigeria, by the way. So Tinubu was elected as Lagos State governor. 2 elections. That's why he's talking about victory after victory. So based on that, he's now coming into national leadership. People can judge him that when he was at Lagos, what did he do? In fact, when he was at Lagos, the government in Abuja was a different political party. Always been a different political party. Tinubu and Obasanjo somehow didn't see eye to eye. When Obasanjo was PDP, Tinubu was forming a new party. And Tinubu was defeating PDP in the Lagos elections, even though Obasanjo was the president consistently. And after Tinubu, he brought Fashola, who also won 2 elections. And then eventually, when he got so angry with Obasanjo and the PDP, he formed the APC, brought Buhari in, and Buhari won 2 terms. And he is now the leader of the party. Okay, let's move on.
And then by the fact that other contenders from the southwest withdrew from the poll, I was left with only Osibanjo. Some consider him to be like a traitor also. People see it to be treachery. I don't know how that will affect. And so this is someone's assessment, one of the tweets.
It says this election from this ongoing sorting is between Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Asiwaju Tinubu.
Everything is just about Tinubu from
Oh, I see. Oh, that's sarcasm. So it's all Tinubu's name.
His full name is Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Okay, so the guy says Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Asiwaju Tinubu.
And this is one of his titles.
I see.
This literally means a leader, one who leads. That's the Yoruba word.
I see.
And then someone in referring to Osibanjo, wonderful. Where is my professor, Pastor Judasi of Yoruba land? And this is a clear attack on the personality of Osibanjo.
I see. Also, this is post from Nigeria.
Yeah, this Minister of Labour.
OBJ referring to Obasanjo. Yeah. Are you watching? The kind of leadership OBJ failed to give official PDP in Nigeria in 2007 is what? PMB is who? Buhari?
Yeah, Muhammadu Buhari. President Muhammadu Buhari.
Oh, it's what PMB just provided for the world to see. Complete transparent process to pick a possible successor. No imposition, no interference. Who is Democrat now? Congratulations at official ABT, something like that. Okay, so the concern that Obasanjo had brought in Yaradua, that's Obasanjo sort of forced Yaradua onto the PDP ticket. But you see, he explained that he had a relationship with the General Yaradua, who actually saved his life.
Before that, Obasanjo had this 3rd-term agenda that was supported in the National Assembly.
Yes, and then he brought...
And that was an assembly which he controlled the 2 chambers.
Obasanjo?
Yeah.
But that's why he brought Yaradua.
So people felt he only brought somebody who could manipulate, having failed to come for a 3rd term.
Oh yeah, well, sort of. Somebody who could continue with what he was doing. Not manipulate is too strong, but somebody who could continue with what he was doing, I think.
Well, it became obvious that he miscalculated because we saw the approach of Yaradua to prevent from what he thought could be. And that's one thing about politics.
But Obasanjo didn't hide that. He didn't hide the fact that he was bringing Yaradua in. He didn't hide it.
But at that time, the North knew Yaradua was unhealthy. And the North were also concerned, just like the Southerners felt Buhari was trying to use Jonathan. The North equally had that reservation at the time. So you could see that Obasanjo in one way or the other was trying to. But it's normal. Leaders always want to secure what they perceive to be their legacy.
Yeah.
Or want continuity. But then now the ball has been set rolling. PDP have done their, what do you call it? And then one of the Atiku's 3 cardinal points going forward is one, job creation. Of course, Nigeria has a very huge unemployment rate. I can't remember the exact percentage. And then you have insecurity. And then another thing we cannot take away from Buhari is that he left Nigeria very polarized and inherited it.
Buhari?
Yeah.
Nigeria is polarized today than it was in 2015.
Because if you look at the rise of militancy and what do you call it, quote and unquote, rebellion or insurgency in the East, from the IPOB and the likes, it's just like the Cameroonian situation. It was just a mere political agitation. Rather than using dialogue, the government decided to use repression. And then, as a result, we have this escalation. And another thing I fear is that going forward, would PDP equally bring an Eastern running mate, perhaps to assuage the kind of anger that the Easterners felt towards PDP? Or they also refuse, because it's obvious APC is going to bring a Northerner. So if PDP refuses to bring us Easterner, or they bring an Easterner who does not have that clout of what do you call it, Peter Obi, will it not also increase the sense of marginalization in the East? And what does that spell for insecurity in Nigeria? Because we've just been hearing a report that the attack on the church in Owo was actually carried out by ISWA, that is Islamic State West African Province. And that clearly tells you that Buhari has lost control over the security. And let's be very frank to ourselves. We can pardon him on economy. Obviously, he's not an economist. But we cannot pardon Buhari a single day on insecurity.
When is the election?
The election should be somewhere in February.
Okay. So we're building up towards 11:30. We've kept viewers too long. Tomorrow is a working day, 11:30. We have to end the program at this stage. It's been a delight bringing the show to you. Thank you very much for your patronage. You'll be back next week, Tuesday, for another edition of the show. If you go into the weekend, if you drink, don't drive, the Premier League has ended, so you can take time to exercise on Saturday and Sunday to lose a bit of weight. Thanks for watching. Good night.